You know, Chris, how everybody says when you do acid, like you're going to get an acid flashback of like times in the previous. I just hope 2022 isn't the year I get that acid flashback.
It's a show by Chris and Neil with all great movies. They are the real deal. We watch them all, so you don't have to. It's movies that don't suck and some that do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, it's another episode of Movies Don't Suck. My name is Neil.
And I'm Chris.
And today we are doing the best and the worst of 2022.
The hotly anticipated episode because I gotta be honest, I think out of our episodes, this one's downloaded the most. So the end of the year lists.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were that important. Well, we review all the movies we've seen. We tell you what is the best of the best. Chris and I have seen over 100 movies this year.
Yeah, we have.
We're going to tell you the best, the worst. We've seen horror movies, action movies. We've seen DC movies that don't matter. Marvel movies that people wish just didn't exist. We saw movies that a lot of people said nope to, and sequels to horror movies that we wish studios would have said nope to. We got old TV shows that were reborn, like I Love Lucy, and for some reason, The Munsters. The cinematic world gave birth to the weird detective figuring out everything when no one else could even figure it out category. And we got so many sequels that, and I mean just so many sequels that should have came out decades ago. One sequel 13 years later, another one 36 years later, and we even watched a movie that was 39 years later of a sequel. We got, which gives us the answer that there is no time limit to a good cash grab. We got biographies on the biggest names of Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, and of course, Weird Al Yankovic.
Of course, yeah.
and now we figured out that Black Panther has a brother and his name's Black Adam. You know, like twice this year, we saw Pinocchio's thingy grow. And
twice
we got twice. And we got prequels that were sequels, but they were prequels because they came before the movie that was last before the movies. So they're sequels to the prequels of the prequels of the sequels of the sequel to the prequels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
saw that.
So Chris, tell everybody where they can find us.
You can find us online, moviesdontsuck.net. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/moviesdontsuck podcast. We're on Twitter, NTS Podcast. We're on Instagram, NTS Podcast. Go to bonfire.com/moviesdontsuck. You'll find merch, like our shirts and stuff that Neil made. Go to patreon.com/moviesdontsuck. Yeah. And where you find podcasts, you can find Movies Don't Suck and something to do.
Talking about our podcast, so we are actually talking about joining up with one of the great people that we've met over the couple of years that we've been doing this. What, 4 years have been doing this? Oh my god!
I think it could be longer. I have no clue.
It's like a drunken day at Woodstock. I just don't remember all of it. But anyway, so one of the great guys that we have met in the past years, Mark, he's going to be jumping in here with us and doing the best and the worst of 2022 with us. Now, Mark is a representative of W2Mnet.com. Now, let me show this to you guys so everybody at home sees what this is. Now, this is a website that has literally all you want in podcasting. It has movies, wrestling, boxing, UFC. I've been on the wrestling podcast a few times. I can't remember all the ones. I remember WrestleMania one. I know we did an AEW one, but they have just literally everything from games, entertainment, football, wrestling. All you have to do is go to W2Mnet.com. Again, that's W2Mnet.com. And bringing up on us today, our good friend, all the way from another part in the world, it is Mark, everybody!
Hey, Mark.
Hey, here I am from parts unknown. Otherwise known as Florida.
Are there Florida men walking about right around you?
I don't know if I told you guys, but I am a mental health professional in a correctional institution here in Florida.
Correct.
So I am surrounded by Florida men. so many naked Florida men. Way too many.
I was in Louisiana for Christmas, and I saw Louisiana men, which are kind of close to Florida men. I mean, I don't know how many times I got told, "Thank you for coming to the swamp," or "Oh, now," and
Are you on TikTok at all?
no, not really. I try. But
There's a guy on TikTok named. Well, I'm on the TikTok with the hippity hop, and there's a comedian who's from, I think, Florida, Ben Bernard.
He is from Florida.
Thank you. And and his gimmick on TikTok is he's the states guy. So it's him playing versions of like a state. So there's like he plays Florida, he plays Georgia, when he plays the Louisiana guy, it's hysterical. First of all, he does this really great accent, but like the Florida guy talking to the Louisiana guy, it's like Waldorf and Statler. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. So how was your holiday season, Mark?
My holiday season was good. I adopted a family.
Oh wow!
I am now parenting 6 people.
Wow.
3 adults, 3 children. So that's fun. I'm fostering a family because I walk with Jesus.
Okay.
I'm practically a paladin. You D&D.
You're the missing disciple.
That is correct. Yes. I was there at the Last Supper. I had soup.
And you got the check early, so you weren't part of any of the end.
Yeah. I was like separate checks, ladies.
Yeah. I gotta go home. I got things to do.
Yeah, I missed
All
the
right,
portrait.
guys. So here it is, the end of 2022. We're now in 2023. We got to review everything that we did this past year, everything we looked at, everything we did. We're going to give the top 10 best movies of the year, 5 honorable mentions. 5 honorable mentions when we get there, and 5 worst movies that we saw all year long.
Oh, now, I have so many more than 5.
I know. You know how hard it was to make all 20 on this list. So, to figure out who's going to give their first movie so we can start this all going, I have come up with a little quiz for the 2 of you, because I'll be more than happy to go last. I don't mind. I'm going to give you 10 questions, and whoever gets the answers right out of all 10 of these the most gets first rights. Okay. Just yell ding, I'll call on you, and then you give me the answer, because that's the only way to do it. Like,
I could just do this right here. I could do that, but not going to.
You're annoying.
Wait, Jonas, come here. Yeah. Come here. I want you to be a part of this.
I feel like something just happened.
Come here. Come around here. Come around.
All right, Chris. Just remember what button to hit.
Okay.
Okay. When I want to answer a question, I'm gonna give you a squeeze. I want you to yell ding. Got it? Uh-huh. You're my ding. You're my bell.
Okay.
All right. So I thought I'd make the first question easy to start off easy. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. What is the top grossing movie at the box office of 2022?
No, he was supposed to yell ding. I squeezed him first.
Oh, you go first then.
I squeezed my
let
son.
you go first. What is it, Mark?
As of today, it's Avatar: The Way of the Water.
No.
Is it
as of today? It beat Top Gun Maverick. As of today,
gosh, I got this information yesterday. As of yesterday, as of December is December 28th.
You should have said Maverick. So was this Spider-Man: Far From Home though?
No, it's Top Gun Maverick.
Oh fuck! Whatever.
All right,
hang on. So we have a friend watching with us, Chris Bailey of the Superblog team up. He says, "That's right, Mark. Say it again. Avatar: The Way of the Water."
Avatar. I don't even know what that is. Is that a movie?
Hang on.
Did that come out this year? No, I'm just kidding. All right. Question number 2. What is the top grossing song of 2022? What was the top charting song of 2022? I'll take artist or the name of the song.
We don't talk about
Chris?
Bruno?
No.
Okay.
Was it anything but Goat Whore?
No goat whore.
Damn it.
Anybody going once? I'll let you guys throw out a guess.
That Taylor Swift song that everyone does on TikTok. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
No.
Damn it.
Let's go Anti-Hero.
The answer is Harry Styles, As It Was.
Yeah, I fucking know. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Since you do a music podcast.
I do a metal podcast. I yelled out Goat Whore. I'm done here.
All right. Here's one more music one then. top selling album, the first album in 7 years to make this much money as a selling album, top selling album of 2022.
Oh, this is just a straight up just music. Fuck, I don't know.
No, this is just the third question.
Yeah,
Third question. Top selling album of 2022.
I don't know, dude. I could tell you.
Was it something by Kanye West?
No,
luckily.
you had it right. The last answer, it was Taylor Swift's Midnight, which was the highest grossing album in 7 years.
If I tell you that Taylor Swift broke Ticketmaster, can I steal like points back?
Yeah, we'll give you that.
I know something pop culture.
Okay, in 2022, with 9.2 billion views, what was the most watched YouTube video?
Was it Will Smith slapping Chris Rock?
No,
Was it a cat flushing the toilet?
no.
Was it something anime that my children watched?
Yes. It was something
Oh.
children watched 9.2 billion times.
Man,
You all know it. You all know it. You're just not saying it.
is it a song?
It's baby
Shark,
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 shark.
shark.
Oh
Baby
my
shark,
God.
shark,
I
shark.
almost
All right.
okay. I almost thought about saying it, but yeah, I did not.
All right. Number 5, the most streamed TV show of 2022 was.
House of the Dragon.
That is incorrect. That is number 5.
Yellowstone.
That is not correct. That is not a streaming show. That
You
is a
were
TV
going to okay. In that case, was it a? I want to say it was Lord of the Rings.
No.
Okay.
At One Piece, an anime was the number 1 most streamed show. The second
Really?
was Stranger Things. Number 3 was Grey's Anatomy, The Office, House of Dragons, and The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Who got banned from the Oscars for 10 years?
Will Smith.
You got it.
There we go. You're supposed to ding, but you didn't.
No, you
Who
can
else?
say it. It's fine.
Ding.
Number 7. Who wore Marilyn Monroe's famous Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress to the Met Gala?
Ding. Anna de
Yeah.
Armas?
Nope.
Oh fuck. I don't know, man, because that was my guess.
Kim Kardashian wore a famous dress.
Okay.
What song hit number 1 on the charts for the first time in its 37-year-long journey?
Kate Bush, Running from the Hill.
There you go, Chris.
But-
Now we got
yeah.
one. What movie lost the studio the most money in 2020?
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Moonfall for Lionsgate.
Moonfall, correct.
Yeah.
$150 million.
Jesus
I did a
Christ.
How much it cost.
spreadsheet. We did our year in review yesterday. I did a spreadsheet. Lionsgate is bankrupt.
All right. What TV show was the most watched in 2022?
Yellowstone.
Yeah, Chris already got it. All right, cool.
I've never
Now,
seen it.
Chris,
I have no clue what the fuck it is.
Chris,
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
now this is the way it is.
Uh-huh.
He has 3 points. You have 2. To tie it up, I'll give you this bonus question. But
Wait, hold on.
see if you can win it.
No. If he's ahead
No,
at
no,
the
no,
end
no,
of
no,
10.
no, no, no. What? No. I just want to see if you can answer it.
Okay.
That's the reason on it.
All right.
What pro wrestler sold more T-shirts than any other wrestler in 2022?
I don't know. Go and say Mark.
Na-na-na-na-na.
Who do you think it is?
Na-na-na-na. It's either if I throw 2 answers out there,
Uh-huh.
and one of them is right. Do I get credit?
Mm-hmm.
It's either CM Punk or MJF.
Both are wrong.
Oh, you shitting me?
John Cena.
By double. CM Punk's double it. The number 1 T-shirt salesman of 2022 was the one, the only, very nice, very evil,
Really?
Danhausen.
Were you on Twitter today? Why was he dressed up as Homer in the Moo?
Because he keeps on trying to get Tony Khan to give him the monies or give him more airtime because now he has all the monies from selling all the T-shirts.
I'm sorry. Did you say that it was Danhausen? Danhausen! Danhausen!
All
Yeah.
right, Mark. So you
Sure.
get to start us off today in the 2022 top best of everything. So Mark, you're number 10. best of 2022.
My number 10 best of 2022 is I didn't number these. The Menu.
Okay.
The Menu.
The Menu. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. My hold on a second. Honey,
Hey, don't yell at your brother like that, bro. So The Menu is the one that Mark chose for everybody. Now, why The Menu, Mark?
Okay, so first of all, thoroughly enjoyed The Menu. I think in terms of modern horror, I think it was genuinely one of the standout pictures of the year. It had that Hitchcockian build of tension, had great performances from the cast. Ralph Fiennes was phenomenal in this. Anna Taylor-Joy. She gives a monologue towards the end about like the cheeseburger and everything that was pretty amazing. The kid that plays Beast in the newer X-Men movies,
Nick Holt.
yeah, his performance was like, we were talking about this on our review of The Menu. This is the kind of thing he should be doing from now on. He plays probably the best douchebag I've seen all year.
Oh my God, right? Like, because he always plays the good guy for so many years. He even played J.R.R. Tolkien in Tolkien, the movie as well. And he always plays the nice guy. And when he was a douchebag in The Menu, was like just a major selling point, and how Anna Joy Taylor played off of that was amazing.
You know, there's another movie on my list. I don't want to give it away now, but there's another movie on my list that is so overly tropey. It is just every horror trope. Now, it does it well, and that's why it's on my list.
Yeah.
But The Menu really didn't rely on any horror tropes.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those great movies I've seen this year. Like, for some reason, when I was thinking about movies of the year, I always lean for the more creative ones, even if they're not necessarily better, because I'm just so all about everything new. And The Menu really did that for me. It was something that I saw the preview and I knew I wanted to see, but it was so much better than I thought it'd be. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And like I said,
I thought I was walking into the same experience where I thought, I know what this movie is.
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen. I already know it. But man, it didn't even matter if you knew it was going to happen. And there were some points I didn't know it was going to happen.
It sounds like it was almost everywhere now. It's used to be in every movie from now on. That's what I feel like.
I feel like it. Chris, what was your number 10?
My number 10 is actually Pearl, the prequel to X. Because
I traded it out for The Menu.
Oh yeah. So you know, if you guys seen X, I mean, it's so much different. It's a prequel to X, but it's so different. It's like watching a fairy tale. Nightmare.
How great is Mia Goth? Mia Goth is so good.
That monologue she's at the end made the movie for me. It's probably it's the best scene for a movie this year I've seen. But Pearl also, like, I fucking enjoyed it, and then we'll talk about more about the prequel or the actual first one later. But Pearl was something I've been dying to see ever since I saw the ending of X, and I wasn't disappointed. Having Mia Goth there, man, she's so fucking good.
Let's for 5 seconds, slight spoiler, I guess. The credits scene, where the credits are rolling, and she's just like,
oh my god.
That like one take, like by the end of it, she had to have punched the director when it was over. When he finally yelled cut, she just went over and kicked him squat in the nuts.
Take that, Ty West.
Yes. All right. So my number 10 pick for the year was kind of cool because we're all going horror theme on this, it seems. My favorite was Crimes of the Future.
Really? I didn't know you liked it that much, dude.
No, I really liked it. I told you I did. My thing is, again, rewatchability is one of the things with me, and it is one of those creepy, eerie movies that when I went back and rewatched it several times after it came out of the theater and I actually had time to digest it more, it's kind of like, to me, like a gothic, like just futuristic world that could probably actually happen. Okay. Like, it's actually more realistic than most things that we see that are in the future. You know, even Back to the Future had like flying cars, and that's not ever going to happen.
It is better. It is better later year Cronenberg. You know, like that's the one that I've really paid attention to, because his little earlier stuff, I mean, like the last couple years or the last movie he did for us wasn't so good. But Crimes of the Future was really fucked up and cool to me, but it didn't make my
and
list.
that's the thing. It was really fucked up, and I like movies that stay with you. Like I love, like Seven and 12 Monkeys and like stuff like that. And this just fits right. Like I've literally fallen asleep to this movie like 3 or 4 times probably in the last couple of months, which is really weird about me and says about weird things that goes on in my bedroom.
So housing endorsement. This movie put me right to sleep. It's great.
Well, it has a good soundtrack. Like Crow is another movie I fall asleep to.
Oh my God, The Crow is fantastic.
Yeah,
the soundtrack to it. My God, I think you guys are around my age. I think I think you guys are in your 40s. Like, was the Crow like not the soundtrack to our youth?
My entire I grew my hair long. I think I played The Crow like 10 times at different costume parties.
I'm 36, so it's just outside my wheelhouse. So
the Pantera song "The Badge."
Yeah.
You know how like sometimes you mishear lyrics. I remember my friend at the end of the band. He goes, "Oh, what's behind the badge?" And like we were all just like hanging out listening to it, and he just blurts out, "What big eyes you have!" Like, what?
All right, Mark. What is your number 9 for this year?
The Northman.
okay, yeah, great choice. Yeah,
This was a great year for Focus Features and like Fox Searchlight.
yeah.
We did our year review yesterday, and if it wasn't Marvel or Avatar, the only other movies that made money for Disney were fucking Fox Searchlight movies.
Yeah, because I think the Northman didn't make money, right? It was kind of a flop, right? Compared to the budget.
I'd have to go back and look. I don't. It might not have, but
It did not hit it. No, okay. It said it's a flop. Okay, and this is why I went with the Moonfall as the biggest flop of the year. Was I did the estimate of how much did it lose on how much did it cost?
Yeah.
Right.
And it actually made like 45 million over what it was the budget.
Yeah.
But that was worldwide, not
Right.
domestic.
I love Robert Eggers, so like I was there opening night to see the Northman.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah.
The cinematography in the Northman is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Again, another Anna Taylor-Joy. I mean, what an underrated actress.
Yeah.
Modern actress right now, because it's like I don't think people realize how good she is. But she'll go from things like from the Northman. She was in what was the Edgar Wright movie from last year, Chris?
It was the Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, Last Night in Soho, where she's fantastic in it. The movie, but she's amazing. But like she was like probably the best part of New Mutants, despite her terrible Russian accent. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, the Northman was one of those movies that I'm sure you know The Witch, which is probably my favorite movie of all time. And then, of course,
he has a tattooed on his arm.
Yeah, they got the Black
He's
Phillip.
got Black Phillip tattooed. Yeah. I don't know if you can really see. There you go. He's got Black Phillip tattooed on his arm.
And of course, I love The Lighthouse.
A guy at a tattoo convention do it. He paid like a house payment for it.
It was like $400, I think. But like after seeing The Witch and then The Lighthouse, I was excited to see him have a giant budget. Northman was right in my alley. I couldn't wait. I was super stoked on it.
For a prestige indie-ish, because Focus is Universal. I thought it was phenomenally acted, costumes, soundtrack. It's on my top 10 because it's one of the more perfect movies of the year. Like we spent 3 hours on our podcast. Like we typically go 2.5, depending on what we're doing.
Yeah,
sometimes a little less. This was one where it was like the full 3 hours by the time we were done with every segment, because we were gushing so much about every element of the craft here. And it's still number 9 on my list.
Yeah.
Like it really is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know what is in the DNA of the Skarsgårds, but man, way to go them.
Put a title on them. Make them wrestle John Cena instead of Logan Paul.
I know, right? The Skarsgård versus the Bloodline. How about that?
There you go. You the one, no, we the one, motherfucker. All right.
Alexander Skarsgård has been one of my favorite actors ever since I met him as Eric in True Blood. Somewhere I have a bottle of True Blood somewhere. But I literally still have the bottle of True Blood from the show. Anyway, I agree with you. Northman is one of the top movies of the year. I did not put it anywhere in my top 10, but man,
what the fuck, dude? Really?
It was there for a while. It was there for a while.
Why do you hate art?
Yeah. What do you? I agree, Mark. What do you?
Chris, what is your number 9?
My number 9 is
Hey Neil, do you remember what a douchebag I am?
I know, I love it.
number 9 was something that I had no clue I to even like, but I ended up loving. Vengeance. Number 9 is Vengeance. BJ Novak, written, directed, and I fucking.
You know what? I had a very good inkling that you were going to put this on your list. I did so much. I literally, if you don't know this, Mark, I actually made a file of all the posters I thought you guys were going to choose, just so I could pop them up the whole time. And Vengeance is right there.
Real quick, did I tell you last year when I came on your show, my friend Chris Bailey, who I may or may not still be watching?
Chris Bailey.
There's a couple
the very
people
same.
watching, so.
He saw my top 10 that I did for your guys' show and was like, this is the list of somebody who has no friends. And I'm wondering, and I'm just wondering when you're like, what would Radulich pick for his movies? It's like, let me think about a loser who's way too into film. and, and then grab those that way.
So Vengeance was one of those movies that I didn't know I'd like, and I almost was sure I didn't, but it snuck up on me and ended up loving it by the end. And I'm not a big fan of Ashton Kutcher, but his role in this probably made the movie for me. And
I think the only reason you like Vengeance, and I'm just going to throw this out is one, it takes part in Texas, and they have the line that if there's the option, it's Whataburger.
Yeah.
Because Chris was here in Tulsa recently, and literally I was like, "Where do you want to go eat?" And he's like, "Whataburger." I go, "Look, dude, you can grab Whataburger on the way out. All right, we got actually good restaurants here."
I spent this group in Texas, so Whataburger is a part of my DNA. But they're building a couple here, so one's actually living close. So I want to come and then to see it play.
So for my number 9, Chris, you're gonna have to help me because I mess up the words a lot, and it's not funny. It's a brain thing I got from a accident from years ago. My skull. You got me?
Yeah. Is it the Umbrella William Master Talent? Oh, the Banshees of Inisherin. Okay. All right.
The Banshees of Inisherin, like to me, was that's why I said of Ed Sheeran. The Banshees of Ed Sheeran were like literally one of the best movies of the entire year. Watching people in early 1900s go through an emotional separation of friendship, which grown men don't know how to do that. Like even today, grown men don't have that emotional training to go through of everything that goes through. And then the craziness that happens, that unfolds throughout that movie. At first, when I watched it, I was like, man, this is artsy as fuck. This is totally a Chris movie. This is not my movie. I have watched it probably 9 times since then, and we only watched it like, what, a month ago, 2 months ago?
So the thing, Martin McDonagh is now my favorite European director, like without a doubt. Like you did in Bruges, you did 3 Billboards, but with this one, it seems more personal, and it's fucking fantastic. I love this movie. It's shot beautifully. Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell, they have so much history.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's on the short list for Best Picture.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it should be. And it should be. There's this great, if you guys haven't got the chance, Variety does this thing where it's actor to actor, where they sit down and talk one actor to another. And there's a great one with Jamie Lee Curtis and Colin Farrell, and them sitting there just talking about their different roles of all of film, and like how much they're in love with each other's work and stuff like that. And to be honest, it was like the best hands down interview I think I've seen, like with Colin Farrell and like him getting and how emotional it was to actually do that movie. So man, I loved it. Mark, number 8.
All right, a little less artsy fartsy. Bullet Train.
Oh, Bullet Train. Yeah, that's a good one.
What's Bullet Train?
Come on, Steve.
Seriously?
No, he's not. He's not really talked about it.
Bullet Train?
No, Bullet Train was what would you love so much about Bullet Train?
Wrong one.
So, like I said, almost every movie that I picked on my list, I thought was close to perfect. Mm-hmm. And Bullet Train came out at the end of the summer, and the summer was so bad.
Yeah,
there were so many misses, so many wild swings. I didn't even touch the ball. Doctor Strange.
Well,
Or Love and Thunder.
you're not gonna like the rest of my picks.
Lightyear. Anyway,
Yeah, okay.
so Bullet Train. So one of the things we talk about on Damn You Hollywood, our Tuesday podcast, where we review new movies, is is that there's, because of the over reliance on known IP, you don't get a lot of pure. You don't get a lot of like pure movies anymore.
100%.
Like,
I'm with you on that.
yeah. So and there's almost no fun to be had at the movies. Like when we were kids, like if you remember, again, you're like 12, Chris, but Neil and I, when we were kids in the Stranger World 80s, you would go to the movies and there would be everything from your artsy fartsy to your mid pictures to your blockbusters. Yeah, there was an array of things, and in 2 weeks there's going to be a movie with Gerard Butler coming out and the guy that played Luke Cage called Plane, and one of the reasons why we're talking about it is it's one of those just mid-tier pure action movies.
Yeah.
And so back to Bullet Train. Bullet Train was stylized. It had a brilliant color palette.
A brilliant cast, man.
At a great pace. So many movies this year overstayed their welcome in terms of like pacing and just the absolute length of the movie.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Oh my god! If I have to watch another 3-hour movie that didn't need to be 3 hours, I make it
like
a
Avatar.
felony.
Yeah, Avatar is like the
So
worst.
many.
Avatar.
There's a
Oh
lot.
my god! I wish I had worst movie that I was made to watch for more than 3 hours.
There's easily 10 of those.
Yeah,
I want the 3 hours back I spent. Well, I don't want to give it away, but I want the 3 hours back I wasted on Blonde.
Oh
my point-
gosh! Why didn't I put that somewhere? Okay.
But my point is, like, Bullet Train, the reason why I put it so high and I have such esteem for it is it's just really pure, really stylized, really fast-paced action movies that's incredibly well acted. The dialogue is crisp. I mean, a lot of care and effort went into this. And I feel like because of the way the movie industry is now and, everything after the pandemic and all of that, we're not as trained as we used to be to go to the theater and just watch a fun movie that is competently made. And so
Not a lot of people are going to go watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
No.
They're not going to go watch it at the theater anymore. That's
right, but they're not going to go watch Bullet Train either. And so this is my opportunity. This is like my soapbox moment to kind of stand and say, hey, there's movies like Bullet Train in theaters amidst all the shit. Thor: Love and Thunder. Like go see that. Yeah. Go see the bullet trains and the planes of the world, and instead of waiting for it to be on Netflix, which is what we're currently doing, and it doesn't really encourage studios to do more bullet trains. They're going to continue to do more Black Adams, and less bullet trains if we don't go to the movies and see the bullet trains.
So how many more movies that I have in my top 5 are you going to like just randomly blurt out?
Come on,
I'm
dude,
going to golden shower your whole fucking list.
Chris, what is your number 8 pick?
but no, it's on number 7, right? Yeah, well, it's on number 7.
No, we're number 8, dude. We're number 8.
Okay, the menu. We talked about the menu. That's number 7.
Oh yeah, we already talked about the menu. So you like the menu because you're really in love with Anna Joy, and you said that was your hall pass. Is that what I heard?
Well, that, and also Hong Chau's great, and she's like the unsung hero in that movie. Hong Chau, she's great. Like almost fucking everyone in that movie was so good. And the thing about the menu is like talked about creativity. Also, just I'm gonna get a little high here. There's symbolism all throughout that movie. I mean that island's basically just purgatory, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of and rewatching it, like I literally, that's what I think too. It's like that island is actually purgatory. Like that is something that you are we interrupting you during dinner time, buddy? Are you okay there? I saw that. I
wasn't going to say anything.
I'm sitting here drinking beer the whole time and smoking, and you're like, I gotta eat food without nobody watching. You can eat all you want.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Just stay away from the mic when you do. Yeah.
Please stop shaming me.
Don't shame me for being hungry.
Just I ate before this, so I'm good. But
all right, so since we already talked about the menu, here's my number 8. I don't know if you guys agree with it. I don't care if you do or not, because I fucking loved it, and that is Prey.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, the reason I liked this was because it was the actual. It's the only Predator movie done well besides the Predator. Like it was actually
Low
a
bar
good
to clear,
story.
bud.
Huh?
Low bar to clear.
It's not a low bar to clear, especially when I'm a huge Predator fan. Like, you know what I mean? See this filing cabinet right here? Right about that drawer right there.
Let me ask
Half
you a
of that
question.
is Predator.
You're a metal fan, right? Let me ask you a question with your pick of Prey, which I'm not going to call you out because I know what's really happening here. Do you cry for the Indians, Neil? Do you cry for the Indians?
You know, my wife is half Native American, right?
Oh, I'm sure, and I feel like that's why you picked it. You're like, which one will get me laid tonight? the Indian
No,
movie.
I actually picked it because, to be honest, because I really love that they did the whole. We don't get to see the bad guy until the end. Like they really played it out. They made it the characters. I thought were really good going back and forth. And to be honest, it's one of the most rewatched movies I've watched. And again, rewatchability is my number one thing.
You picked it to get invited to Hollywood parties. You're one of those
Hollywood
people.
parties, yay!
You're like, notice me from
Notice me.
Invite me to the party with the guys from Variety.
Oh gosh! All right.
So I only come on once a year.
Chris Bailey agrees with me. Chris Bailey.
Chris Bailey has the taste of a toddler.
Chris Bailey squared.
Chris Bailey will tell you all about the GoBots. You can't go by him.
Oh man, when Drax beat up the GoBot in Holiday, that
was quality.
All right, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday special. Anyway, have you seen that?
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my god, it's only 45 minutes. I mean, I think I've watched it like 5 times because I was like, "Oh, people, you got to watch this! It's the best new Christmas song."
We watched it twice. One of the adults that I adopted made me watch it with just her, and then we laughed so hard at it we made the whole family watch.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's like I know a lot of people are like more Star-Lord. I'm like, I love the Mantis Drax duo. That was it was perfect.
Dude, it was great. That you ate all their Zarg nuts. Nobody cares that I ate the Zarg nuts. Anyway, Mark. Number 7.
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun what?
Maverick.
Top Gun number 7. Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. Did I even put that on here?
I did not.
I don't think I even put that. I did not put that.
This is my toxic male pick of the year.
Okay.
This is the one that brought the men back to the theaters, and those men brought their sons, and they sprayed testosterone all over that theater, and that testosterone brought everyone back to the theaters. Top Gun Maverick single-handedly saved the year in cinema in the year of our Lord 2022.
I'll totally agree. And again, like Avatar, and I'm not. This is the only reason I'm comparing the two. Is it is a movie that you have to see in the theater.
I don't see movies typically more than once. I saw it 3 times in the theater. Granted, 2 of those were 2 different dates and 1 was my son. But still, I saw it 3 times in the theater, and every time I noticed something different. Every time was a kind of a different experience for me. Top Gun Maverick.
It's a thrilling movie. I'll say that.
Yeah, and then Miles Teller in it was amazing, and like playing Goose's son, and like
hey, spoiler, no, I'm joking.
in many ways, it's perfect. I mean, there's not a lot craft wise that's wrong with it. It's a slight movie, but I think you can get away with being slight when the rest of the craft elements are where they need to be. It looks great. It's acted well. The plot makes. By the way, I don't know if you guys watch like the pitch meetings on YouTube.
I do one too.
So you're doing a Star Wars, right? Like, what's that? That's Chewbacca celebrating. Damn it, it's not a Star Wars. And I didn't think of it at the time, but when the pitch meeting guy pointed it out, I was like, holy shit. But I think it does go to something I'm going to say about another movie that's on my list. You can do tropey, you can do familiar. It's how you do it. People respond to familiar. Top Gun Maverick rest firmly in the familiar, but in a way that is competent.
Yeah.
That's why it's on my top.
It wasn't a cash grab, you're right. The
Right.
one thing I do remember about Top Gun Maverick is that I saw more Guns Rights t-shirts at the screening of this than anywhere I've seen ever. So it was
we live in the Midwest. That's saying something.
yeah, it's a little propagandist. Like, so I walked in there, I'm like, God, like I'm not these people at all. But the movie is a very thrilling movie. It's great acting. The action of it, I mean, it's better action wise than the original Top Gun when it comes to that.
Like Jennifer Connelly is like 1,000,000 years old, and she's so fucking hot,
dude. Oh my
Jesus
God,
Christ!
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man, I totally forgot. I got all these facts I put up here for people to read during the whole entire thing, and there's one of them.
All right. Should I go for mine? Number 7 for me?
Yeah,
right?
number 7.
The best true horror film I saw this year that's actually terrifying is Barbarian. Barbarian is number 7 for me.
All right, so everybody, here it is. This is the first one me and Chris got exactly the same one
really?
on the same
Okay.
number.
Real quick. So far, you guys have picked shit I haven't seen, and now I feel like the dumb one.
Okay, so Barbarian, when you see it, like before you know anything, you think it's like some fucking shitty medieval like film. No, this takes place in modern day Detroit, and it is a fucking terrifying movie.
Yeah. So I'm from Northern Indiana. I've gone through modern day Detroit many times in my teenage years, going to Canada because you used to be able to drink up there when you're 18. So like I used to drive up through Detroit, and we're talking, they literally had potholes the size of your car that you would have to drive on the sidewalk. There was packs of wild dogs that go through neighborhoods like mauling people. I'm not kidding.
Mad Max times? Where were you?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, there are parts of Detroit that are very post-apocalyptic. Barbarian plays off of that.
Yeah.
Because of being in this Detroit ghetto. And ghetto is just better of a lack of term. But like literally it is just like one of the movies that all years long that like literally was just it made me feel feelings inside my soul.
So real quick, why is the Weird Al effect up now?
It's on a rotation, bro. There's nothing I can do about it. I did 25 of them. What do you want?
Okay.
I can only do so much.
So one of the things about Rain is it's one of the movies that legitimately shocked me. There's a point in this, I'm not giving it away, but like there is a straight twist that happens, and I never saw it coming. It blew my fucking mind, and the way the characters in this, like fucking Bill Skarsgård's in this, he's great, and Justin Long is in it. Like
Justin Long plays a major douchebag.
Yeah, it's like the biggest douchebag,
and it knocks it out of the park. It's one of those movies too that like you really think that it's going one direction and it goes completely a different direction than what you think it's going.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this director's next movie. The director is one of the whitest kids you know from the, I don't remember which one. I should have done the facts on that. But yeah, I fucking loved Barbarian. It's my favorite, like, actual true horror film of the year. Or something that was actually legitimately terrifying to me.
I can't believe we both picked it for number 7. Barbarian! Yeah! Go see it tomorrow.
Okay, so
Mark, number 6.
Oh, that's right. You said Barbarian. Okay, Smile.
Oh, not on my list.
What?
Oh, I've been like hinting at it this whole time, and you guys are like, "Oh, that's what you're talking about."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Smile was a fantastic horror movie. Smile, everything I know Top Gun, double down for Smile. It is all the tropes. It is all the familiar pillars that hold up a good horror movie, but done just differently. That I think it makes it an interesting movie. There were, I think, some might say that they were a little too dependent on jump scares, but I think not all jump scares are created equal, and some movies are too overly reliant on them, and they're dumb, and they're just doing them to do them. And then there's Smile, which I think makes effective use of them and reminds us why we have jump scares in the first place. I think Smile, while familiar, is also a legitimately scary movie, a interesting movie. Now, I talked before about working in correctional institutions as a mental health professional. What I enjoyed about the movie is how it plays with psychology. I like the fact that it plays with mental health, and it really uses it and makes that the focus of the movie. So it's not just gore and it's not just jump scares. There's something going. The movie has a perspective, and I say this all the time on Damn You Hollywood, Tuesdays at 9:00 on the W2M.
To all 7 people watching.
Thank you. And that is, I don't care what your perspective is as long as you have one. So many movies, it's just a collections of scenes and dialogue, but there's no cohesive perspective to it. It's not saying anything. It's just existing for its own sake. Smile had a very distinct perspective, whether you agreed with it or not, whether you recognize it or not, and that's why it's in my top 10.
Okay.
Now, when we did it, when we originally reviewed it, the biggest problem with it, with me, was the fact that it didn't give me back history of why that was what was happening.
And then there's the aspect that maybe you didn't need it.
But now that you're giving me your perspective on it, it actually opened up my eyes to it. Now I want to go rewatch it and have that information in my head.
Mark, you did
bestowed on us.
Yeah, your view on it is actually really interesting, and it does make me look back on it more favorably. I saw it in theaters. There's one big jump scare that I saw a dude next to me drop all his popcorn for it. That was one surprising admission for me.
Beat his pants.
So I took this girl that I was dating at the time to go see Pearl, and at Pearl they had the trailer for Smile, and she was like, "Will you take me to see that next?" And I was like, "Sure." And like a week or two later, I did, and the whole time she was like, "I can't believe you made me see this," which was a sign she was a lunatic. But also, like, this is somebody who's telling me how much they're into horror, and she fucking couldn't handle Smile.
That's crazy.
I was like, I'm not really a horror person. I've had to watch a lot of it just through the course of doing the show, and because I'm surrounded by gore hounds.
Yeah.
So I watch more as a podcaster than I have in my entire life.
I'm with you the same way.
I thoroughly enjoyed Smile. Like, I was into it, man.
Okay. Well,
Chris,
my number 6.
Number 6.
Glass Onion. Way easy.
What?
Yeah.
Glass Onion. All right.
So, this is just as good as the original Knives Out, which I loved. Glass Onion is just another expertly crafted mystery. I mean, it's just so fucking good. That's all I can say about it. Like, it's fun. It's like you were saying, Mark, you don't find in theaters anymore. This one's a fun movie. It's bright. It's got all these things that I want in a stellar cast. So,
and the greatest pro wrestler turned actor ever.
Yeah.
No argument
Dave
there.
Bautista.
Yeah.
Like,
so good.
Dave Bautista, like, plays so many different roles. I can't wait to see
Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, with M. Night Shyamalan.
But
like, he always plays so many different roles. Like The Rock, you know what you're gonna see when you go see The Rock.
Yeah,
like, you get it. John Cena, he's going to comedy. It seems like, you know, with especially with Peacemaker and such like that. But Batista, like, you would never think if you met Batista, which I have twice, literally, like, that he would play the you know, I'm the Manhattanist male. I'm the
hang on. I've met Batista too. I rolled jujitsu with him.
I had a beer and a shot.
Whatever.
You suck his dick too, dude? Jesus Christ.
We touched our sweaty male bodies together. I win.
You're right. We only
So,
see fluids.
Glass Onion is my number 6. It's just so good. I don't want to talk about it too much because there's so much involved. But Janelle Monáe, fantastic.
Edward Norton.
Everyone's
That was
good
like
in
one
this,
of the,
man. And you know,
yeah, because he plays a douchebag, which he kind of is right now.
The return to Kate Hudson, who I hadn't
it fit
seen
him
forever.
perfectly.
The return to Kate Hudson.
They found Kate Hudson from the 90s?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, Melissa! Kate Hudson's in a movie!
And this is a little
Kate
bit,
Hudson from the 90s!
and you guys, man, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it as the hourly dong in it. He did the voice of that.
Oh, actually, you know what? To be honest, right there it is. Boom.
Okay, there we go. Look at that.
Early Dong is voiced by
So,
George.
Glass Onion, number 6 for me.
Gordon-Levitt.
What's number 6 for you, pal?
Number 6 for me was already said. Actually, our good buddy Mark already said it. Yeah, that's right, buddy. I loved it too. It's Top Gun Maverick. Like literally, a totally agreement with Mark. It is the movie that brought people back to the cinema after the pandemic, after everything that went crazy in the world. It was the one that it was the first time I saw more than 10 people in the movie theater. Like when I went to see that movie, it was the first time it felt like an audience was there and not just me sitting in a corner writing notes like I've been doing for the past 2 years.
Can I tell you the most often repeated phrase besides "shut up" or "you're going in a holding cell" said by a detention deputy is "I don't go to the theater," and every single one of them went to Top Gun Maverick.
So
My God!
Now, since we should probably save our top 5 for the very end, you guys want to pivot to worst?
Of course, that's what I was going to do, Chris. I was leading this very well. I'm telling you.
Let's do it.
I say we each just list our 5. Let's just go for it.
Let's start with
Mark, since Mark won it, Mark, give us your top 5 worst movies of the year.
Coming in at number 5, Fantastic Beasts in the Secrets of Dumbledore.
Almost made my list. Almost made my list.
Yeah.
Time stopped, and somehow I still aged. It was awful. Ugh.
Okay.
That movie was like the worst.
Oh, it's
like,
so bad.
It just seemed like it went on forever.
Yeah.
I tried so hard to get into it because Chris loves his Harry Potter.
I do not. My wife loves her Harry Potter. I don't love
If
it.
you go to Chris's house, literally within Chris's house is like a whole
my
hallway
wife has that
nothing but Harry Potter stuff.
That's Leah's stuff. Anyway.
I've never seen the love between two men look less hot than in Fantastic Beasts.
I know,
Dumbledore.
I know.
Like that
When
set,
it was Johnny Depp, it made sense.
That set,
Jude
like-
Law, Johnny Depp.
that set gay men back at least 20 years. It was so bad.
So you get
What's number 4?
nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right.
Ugh. All right, do I keep going or are we going around robin still?
Let's keep going.
Okay. The worst performing movie in Universal's studio releases this year, a movie that its marketing line was from the studio that brought you Jason Bourne, because they had nothing going on with this movie. The 355, baby.
Oh, we didn't see the 355.
Oh, the 355.
Oh my God.
I'm glad I didn't
I
see it.
totally forgot that.
I cut that. So I cut out part podcast TikTok. That's when in our like discussing how they couldn't market this movie worth of shit. Like we did a whole bit about like, well, who's your star here? Jessica Chastain. Who? Fuck, she's in Dark Phoenix. Nobody saw Dark Phoenix. Yeah, look at that. Look at that fucking lineup. Boy.
Yeah, like who here? It's well, I mean, Penelope Cruz.
What's the last thing Penelope Cruz was in that anyone gave a shit about?
Yeah, good point.
You know, and like Lupita Luongo was like what, 3rd or 4th billing in Black Panther. It's her biggest claim to fame.
Wasn't she in like the Christopher Nolan thing? I don't remember Christopher Nolan shit because it all sucked. But you know, whatever. Anyway,
355 was awful. So bad.
Next one.
All right. It was so hard to pick between the 3 shit Marvel movies this year, but I had to pick one and to be in my top 10. So in the 3rd position, in the number 3 worst movie of the year, Thor: Love and Idiocy. Oi.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Really?
Oh my God,
I didn't
it's-
hate it, but it's definitely not. It's
thing was-
definitely a middling movie for me.
It was fucking trash. Like, and I'm not one of these like neckbeardy, I hate women, She-Hulk has to go. I'm personally now incontinent, and because Daredevil did the walk of shame on She-Hulk. I'm not one of those people. Yay, She-Hulk. I defended that show.
I love that show.
Yeah, good. People, you know, who aren't like fucking incels should love that show. Thor: Love and Thunder was so bad. Badly acted. Their treatment of the cancer storyline missed the fucking point and the tone
I'm with
entirely.
I'm with you on that.
The comic book. You're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct because I've read The Mighty Thor. I've read the first, 35 issues or 30 issues of it.
Not to be a downer and not to make this about me, but I am two-time cancer, two-time
Oh,
cancer,
two-time.
two-time. Yeah, I beat cancer twice. No, I. Scissor me,
Scissor me, daddy. Scissor me, daddy.
Just as an aside, I made an entire house of women and children watch a supercut of Anthony Bowen scissoring Billy Gunn and ruin Christmas. Scissor me, bro. Anyway,
Chris will explain what that is later. Anyway,
look, I'm not saying that not every dealing with cancer on film has to be American splendor.
Yeah.
However, there is a tone. There is a respectful tone at which things should be treated as. If you're going to do the Natalie Portman Thor cancer storyline, give it some
time. Give it some air. Give
it some appropriate tone. Give it some appropriate pacing. No. First of all, nobody that had cancer looks like that. And it's just, I really hated the way that they did that. Taika Waititi is a one-trick pony. And he got away with it with Ragnarok because he really did appeal to the widest of wide audiences with that. And there was just enough humor balanced with just enough of everything else that unless you're like a hardcore comic Thor fan, of which I know a few, you can get away with Ragnarok once. Like Daffy Duck in the devil suit. You can do that once.
You can't get it twice.
No, he tried again with the same shtick and it did not work for Love and Thunder. It's awful.
So what's your thoughts on Jojo Rabbit then?
No, let's not go deep diving
on
other movies that have nothing to do with this year.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a prescription. Dr. Radulich has a prescription for Neil. For if you're having insomnia and you need a movie to sleep to at night, Firestarter, which was day and date on TikTok.
I didn't put that anywhere. I totally forgot that movie.
Oh my god,
I'm
with you 1% on this one, dude.
Oh my! I've seen student films that were better than this.
It's so fucking bad. I can't stand Firestarter.
It's like Firestarter is like somebody took a handful of Quaaludes and the book and mixed them together, and voila, this piece of shit.
The acting in it was also fucking terrible. Like Zac Efron, the worst dad I've ever seen on screen. Period. Goddamn.
It's like what was it? What was this? What was this movie? Because I have no idea. What is up with fucking up Stephen King's book so much?
What was the game plan here? It's like, hey, Firestarter with Drew Barrymore. Yeah, is there any way to make it worse?
Is there any way to make it the absolutely worst? Can we get somebody worse than David Keith's acting to do this movie? And what's your number one worst movie of 2022?
You know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone except my son knows this is the worst movie of the year. There's not a single person who reviews and studies film that would disagree with what I'm about to say. And anyone that does, you're either an 8-year-old boy or you don't know movies. Ladies and gentlemen of the movies that don't suck and some that do audience, it's Morbin time.
Yeah, Morbius is fucking awful.
Morbius was the worst piece of shit captured on film. It's so bad. I mean, you want to talk about like you got nothing right? It's poorly paced. It's too long. It's poorly acted. The CGI was shit. The story was shit. They couldn't save this thing with hardcore nudity if they tried.
They could have made every girl naked that everybody wants to see naked in the entire universe of nakedness in this movie, and it could not have saved this fucking movie.
This is a piece of shit. Movie was so bad.
Shit.
This was hot garbage.
Man.
Chris, you're top five.
We do a bit on our show since this happened, and I go through like the top 10 worldwide, and I go, now here are all the movies currently doing better than Morbius. We spent a year laughing at Morbius because it was so bad.
Oh my gosh! All right,
my number five.
Chris.
Number 5 is Firestarter. We talked about it. It's fucking awful. It's the worst. I mean, it's one of the worst Stephen King adaptations you've ever seen. This one's just, it's so bad. Oh, man, I remember I watched it. My wife, and she left the room. She's like, "Fuck this shit." So Firestarter, and but my number 4, The Invitation. We talked about The Invitation. It's the worst fucking. It's so fucking slow, and it builds to nothing. It builds to something that I was like, "This is fucking stupid." Like I remember like, oh man, I don't.
We didn't even have a good time talking about
No,
it.
let
We
me
tell you,
tried.
I have 10.
I think it was
of
the shortest amount of time we talked about a movie.
I have 10 on my list because I don't follow instructions. That was number 7, by the way.
Okay. Invitation's
Nice,
fucking
nice.
awful. Like even I don't want to give away because people might want to see it, but like, fuck.
There's no reason to.
Yeah,
There's no
whatever.
reason to.
I'm done.
Go see Ready or Not or something like
Yeah,
that. Go see something that had the same idea.
But so
The
so
Invitation
much
is
better.
Literally the shittiest vampire movie. If you try to bring back vampires, it was not the way.
Yeah. And then number 3 for me, Morbius. We talked about Morbius. It's just abortion movie. And then I'm gonna skip past that. Number 2 for me is Disney's Pinocchio. The fucking soulless bullshit movie that didn't need to be made. I was like, what? It was so fucking bad.
It didn't make my top 10, but it is awful.
Yeah, it's soulless. In like, I never knew that Tom Hanks had hammed up that much because he did. And
when did he stop being a good actor?
What happened?
Like what happened to Tom Hanks?
Yeah. So like,
We all know what happened to him.
He's a dirty pervert.
Drugs.
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Okay, Disney's Pinocchio.
If you're with Disney, they give you the good drugs. That's the bad drugs from Florida.
Yeah, but
So
so Disney's Pinocchio is the antithesis. It's why I think Disney is also one of the most iconic American brands and one of the most evil corporations. Is they put out shit like this. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
That was
no
number
one
one for you?
There's no one
that's
creatively minding the store at Disney anymore.
So number 1 is a movie that no one saw, but we saw on Netflix, so I had to bring it up. It's called Brazen. It had Alyssa Milano in it. It's a Lifetime movie but it's really just a Netflix put out, and it's fucking awful. It is the worst movie I've seen this year by far, and I'm really sorry, Neil, that I made you watch it. But
yeah,
I don't want to
make me watch it.
There's not much to talk about.
No. Let's stop the conversation for you right now.
Okay,
Because let's go through my top 5 worst movies I saw this year.
Okay.
Are you ready? Because guess how many of them you made me fucking watch, you asshole.
All right, let's start.
Everyone except for 2 of them.
Okay.
2 of them. Number 5. Boom. Halloween.
You wanted to
Ends.
watch that.
Oh my
Raw,
god.
we're an angry mob. Raw.
Oh my god. This movie was not needed.
No.
You should have just done the Halloween. You should have killed them off at the end of Halloween. We didn't need Halloween kills. We didn't need Halloween ends. Oh my gosh. This is like the prequel to Star Wars. We didn't need Attack of the Clones. We didn't need 50% of Revenge of the Sith. Like just get rid of it.
It's not my
Number
top
4.
10. It's not the worst. I think it was the worst movie, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not a good ending. It just pissed me off. Number 4, Chris, you're right on the button. Yes, Disney's Pinocchio. Screw that movie in the goat ass.
If you guys really want to see a good Pinocchio, just see Del Toro's, because that's a decent one. You know?
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
or go just see the cartoon. I don't care.
I was gonna say Del Toro's is my honorable mention for top 10 of the year.
Cool.
We'll get to that here. We'll get that at number 2. At number 2, we'll do that after number 2. The Invitation was my number 3.
Yep.
Of course, same reason. It was blah 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 blah. Morpheus.
Morbius.
Was number 2. Whatever. Morpheus. And of course, the same as you, Chris, the number 1 worst movie that we saw this year was Brazen on Netflix. Oh my god. It was like, do you know like those remember late night Cinemax? Do you remember that back in the day?
Cinemax.
It was like Skinamax,
but no porn. Yeah,
90s,
no titties though.
but no porn, no nudity.
Why would you then? Why would you?
Yeah.
No
It was like the worst sitcom movie show I've ever seen ever. It was so bad. To this day, I wish I could get that time back. I would have probably I would rather be addicted to meth than to watch that movie again. Like literally, I hate that movie.
Neil,
Yeah, no titties. So I was upset about it. Yeah.
Neil, Daddy, may I please read my bottom 5 worst of the year? Just do it.
Please do.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right, cool. Would you like that I called you Daddy? Don't answer that.
Daddy,
I'm mommy, so
he's mommy. Hey,
made it so much weirder, but so much hotter. All right, here we go. At number 6, No Exit. Did you watch this piece of shit? Did you guys cover it?
yeah.
This was this hot garbage on Hulu.
No exit.
no. I'm gonna look it up right now to figure out what it is. 'Cause
Yeah, we were.
I think it was one of those movies we talked about, but we didn't do.
Okay. So no exit from Hulu. You guys already said The Invitation. I'm really surprised one of you guys didn't say Spiderhead, unless you didn't watch it.
I didn't see Spider.
We didn't watch Spiderhead.
Oh my God. We had been looking forward to it because of Chris Hemsworth and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And since like 2021, and it finally got released. We finally watched it. We were like, woof, not worth the wait. This was god awful.
Okay.
You know what? There's other movies that came out that year, that the 2-3 weeks that came out, and then we just surpassed it. And then we heard the bad reviews of it, and we didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
We were like,
it was not a good choice for me to review. Windfall. So I reviewed that. What a show that was! I reviewed that one at the same time that we reviewed Deep Water, and we spent like an hour just talking about polyamory. That's my big memory of that fucking review. Because we finally get to Windfall.
Man, I thought you were going to say that was your favorite movie of the year because I had it ready. Water. I had it prepared.
Nice.
I did. I'm
number one.
I'm waiting
it's like
for
Deep Water,
upload.
Top Gun.
It's like,
and the worst in my number 10, we've already mentioned it. Fucking Blonde.
Yeah.
Another one I was really looking forward to all year. I could not wait to talk about Blonde. And it was like somebody filmed a movie while on acid with a kaleidoscope. It was like, what the fuck was Blonde? Blonde was so bad, my wife almost divorced me. That's how bad Blonde was. She tolerated a lot of shit from me this year. A lot of abuse and neglect, but Blonde was a step too far.
That's a true. All right.
Oh my God.
Back to the main list.
Yes,
now
sir.
we are at number 5. Mark, start us off. What is your number 5 movie of the year?
Violent Night, Holy Night. Yeah,
I wish
Violent Night is.
I was just wishing in my soul that somebody would say this movie at some point.
Violent Night is damn near perfect. I saw it with my buddy, one of my adopted adults, Kelsey, and we were like giddy. we walked out of that movie. We were like, "Oh, Viking Santa with a hammer! Yes, please!"
I'm glad it's going to join the movies of Christmas that will be cycled through every year. This is one I watch
now we
every year.
can finally talk about this. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Violent Night is definitely a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
we can all be violently behind.
I need the Viking cinematic universe where Violent Night and the Northmen exist in the same place.
Oh my God!
Yes, sir.
They are talking already. Harper has already. I was about to say Hooper. David Harper has already been talking about 2 sequels to this movie.
Nice. Yeah, Violent Night was super fantastic. All the craft elements are there. David Harbour gives an outstanding. John Leguizamo gives an outstanding performance.
Oh, John was this, and then Beverly D'Angelo even as the bitch grandma.
Yeah, I didn't know her face was made of bread now, but she was great in this. And sorry, look, as a father of 6 people, I don't get a lot of presents for Christmas.
Yeah.
But I got one early when I got to see Beverly D'Angelo get punched in the mush and her bready mush. It was great.
But Clark.
Yeah. So my number 5.
Hey, how crazy is it that she's now part of 2 movies that will go down in Christmas history?
Oh yeah, good point. All right, now number
Chris,
5, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Number 5 for me.
What is that?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive
Unbearable
Talent.
Weight of Massive Talent.
I don't know what that is.
Dude, you have a poster on the back of your wall right next to you right there. Yeah. So I've been waiting for looking forward to this movie because I'm a Nick Cage guy and I fucking love the Unbearable Massive movie. It's so. I mean, I'm getting the feeling you didn't like it that much, Mark, just by seeing it over there. But
I never saw it.
oh well, it's
You
fucking.
never saw The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
I did not see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Let me just tell you about how cool it could be.
It's
Like,
it's smart. It's
Nicolas Cage.
it's funny.
Playing Nicolas Cage.
It's meta, and I'm
in
sure.
a movie about Nicolas Cage.
All right, so
Poor Chris.
yeah, I know it happens all the time, but no. So it's stylish, it's funny, it's meta, it's exciting, it's got everything I want out of. I mean, it's Nicolas Cage himself, so he's had a good run with, especially with Mandy. a couple years ago that I can't take my eyes
I
off.
love Mandy. We still love Mandy.
Yeah.
It's like one of our favorite creepy
it's my top
horror movies.
Hang on one second. You said Mandy. Have you guys ever seen Too Old to Die Young?
No. Sure.
Okay. So comic book writer, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's known for like writing a lot of crime noir. Teamed up with Refn, who directed Drive.
Yeah. So Refn fucked up with me when he came to Only God Forgives, though.
We actually reviewed that. Anyway, they did a show together, a crime show called Too Old to Die Young. Do me a favor, when we're done here, just YouTube Mandy car chase Too Old to Die Young. You'll thank me in the morning.
Okay, I will.
It is the car chase.
Write that down, Chris. I want to know this info. Write it down.
It is the car chase that broke my daughter.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. And that's,
Go ahead. Whose turn is it?
It's your
number
turn.
5.
It's your turn now.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, we all know. Now we're in my top 5. You know it's going to be nothing but craziness from here on out.
Here we go. Black Adam,
Ready?
Black Panther, Avatar.
Dude, I'm gonna be so pissed if you pick Black Adam in the list. I'm gonna be so mad at you.
The Batman is number 5 in my list because this is the only good Batman movie that came out since Tim Burton has left the goddamn helms. Fuck all you Christopher Nolan little bitches. This actually got story right.
I
actually
cried.
You cried?
I
Like
cried.
happiness?
I was so happy. I cried tears of joy when it was over because I waited 45, almost 46 years to finally see the perfect Batman movie. The Batman movie I've been waiting for my entire life.
See, I thought you cried because after the 3 hours you had to pee so badly that you finally got to. You cried.
I just peed on the floor. I wasn't gonna miss anything.
I've rewatched this movie. This movie has been the backdrop to like me washing dishes, doing laundry, like everything around the house. This will be on all my TVs around the house, like why I'm doing stuff. Like when I'm ranting, like I don't know what to put on, Batman comes right on. In fact, I'm playing Gotham Knights right now. I'm halfway through the game already.
I won't tell you where it's in my top 5, but it's in my top 5. And I came home and my wife was like, let me tell you about all the people. And I'm like, will you shut up for 5 seconds? I have to tell you about Batman. Like it made me feel young again. Like when the world was new, that's how good the Batman was.
You're talking about a guy who not only the Batman came out, then we lost the great Kevin Conroy, which I had a touching emotional moment with when I met
Did you roll jiu-jitsu with him? Did you roll jiu-jitsu with him?
No, but I went to an autograph signing with him and we had a conversation. And when I left, they ask you what to write down on the piece of paper, and I was like, I don't know, to Neil. I like everything. I like everything to me, so nobody can sell it when I die. So it's like to Neil. And then I went up there and I talked to him and I was like, hey man, I just want you to know, every time I read a comic book, every time I got something where it's not a voice hearing, you're the voice I hear when I see Batman. You're the Batman in my comic books. And he's like, man, that's awesome. You want to take a picture? I was like, no, I didn't pay the $20 for that. He goes, it doesn't matter. Take a picture with me, man. Aww. So we take a picture and we talk for a little bit more. We leave, go through the side curtain. My friend goes, hey, dude, did you look at this picture? And I was like, no. And then on the picture says, to Neil, I will always be your Batman, Kevin Conroy.
Over a year ago, when No Way Home came out, we did the review for it. And I did an entire bit about how people like clapping and shouting at the screen as if it was a stage play and they were trying to interact with the actors. Like, you people are idiots. It's a fucking movie. They can't hear you. Yeah. And so we're getting, and I started to scream. We're getting to the point with movies where people are going to start throwing roses, Robert Winfrey. They'll throw roses at the screen. And then I shook my son and told him to go to bed because I was having a meltdown. I bring that up because I totally would have thrown roses at the Batman. Yeah. If I had them. I love that movie so much.
Okay.
Number 4. Going to you, Mark.
Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh and clean. Ladies and gentlemen from Hulu. Fresh.
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 Yeah,
Oh
I love
God,
Fresh. Love Fresh. Love Fresh.
Oh my God. How good is Chris knows because me and Chris, we're tight now.
Yeah.
Chris, how good is Fresh?
Fresh is so good.
Fresh is
It was one of those movies that my wife, she suggested it, and I was like, one film, like, thank God we watched that movie. Fresh is one of the most creative things I've seen this year. It's it's the best thing to go into knowing almost nothing, and then that happens.
Right.
And
we spoil the fuck out of every movie. I couldn't tell people we were talking about it. And we're like, we don't want to tell you what the big hook is, what the big reveal, because it will totally ruin the theater experience for you. What I love about this movie is that it really does, and something I got very intimately familiar with this year, it really does speak to modern dating culture.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, so good.
And even with like the horror elements to it, once it does that big switch, which for people who haven't seen it, I still don't want to tell you what it is. Yeah. And again, I will tell you everything about every movie. I refuse to talk about the twist in this one because I want people to watch this movie and have that experience. I want you to have that what the fuck moment that happens in that movie. Because
what the hell did I just witness?
You're
what
like,
the hell is going on?
Like an hour into the movie and they're like the opening title credit comes on and you have that what the fuck moment. Everyone should experience that because film should make you feel something, whether it's positive or negative. You should not leave a film feeling nothing.
Yeah.
And like why Fresh is so high on my list was because like that was such a visceral moment as a viewer that I very rarely, if ever, have watching a movie. It was so good. Sebastian Stan, like
so
you
hot.
see him as
He's
Bucky. He is a nice hot drink of tea. But
and
like,
Rocket finally got his arm.
But Sebastian, yes. But when you see Sebastian Stan, you think fucking Bucky from the Marvel, and you're like, he's a mid actor. No, he's better than the material he's given.
Yeah.
And this shows it. This is a phenomenal movie. I have been lauding and talking about Fresh all year long because we reviewed it back when it came out, like in the spring, like February,
March.
March.
It's right there.
And it was all I talked about for a while.
Yeah.
It also, my TikTok for this was the extended conversation we had about the unsolicited dick pic in our culture.
Wait a minute.
Neil, when I talked to you about that, I tell you to stop sending them to me.
Well, I mean, you say you want it. You said
unsolicited, guys. Only unsolicited. The solicited dick pic I have no problem.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
Don't send shaved taint. Now just anyway. But I'm noticing a kind of a little menu, Fresh. Mark, you got something to tell us, bro?
I like snooty movies.
Not eating a.
Trying to figure out like where is he going?
Yeah,
with
where
this?
were you going with that?
Look, I got a lot
chud,
of
Chris. He's a chud.
I'm not saying I don't have. Look,
you know what a chud is?
I'm not saying I don't have a lot of weird kinks, but cannibalism isn't one of them yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, Chris, what do you got?
Northman. We talked about Northman. Northman is number 4 favorite movie here. I loved. I mean, with Robert Eggers, I can't wait to see whatever he does, and I'm just living in a world of Robert Eggers and Ari Aster lately.
Gosh, Northman, I swear, is like the 300 of this year. You know,
it's way better than 300.
On my list,
it's way better than 300.
Yeah, it's way better than 300.
Yeah. You know, stop with this Zack Snyder fucking sucking his dick all the time, dude. He's not that awesome.
There are other colors besides sepia.
Christopher fucking Nolan.
Oh my god! Oh, you know what? You know what? Hey, first of all, fuck you. Yeah. Second of all,
no. First of you, fuck you.
And that's fair.
Because I don't molest my childhood like he did.
Real quick, Neil, keep your mouth shut just for a second. Mark, what was your thought of The Dark Knight?
There are some difficulties with the plot here or there, but for the most part, it's darn near perfect.
Okay, I'm with you.
So here's the thing.
Completely butchered.
Here's the thing. Anyway. This is your show, and I would never just insinuate myself into your show. I mean, I asked to come on here one time a year to do this bit with you guys. But I'm coming in fucking NWO style for your Oppenheimer review. And you guys have to promise me something. Here and now, in the year of our Lord, 2023.
Yeah.
that you will do Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same show.
Oh,
Because they're
let's
coming-
do it.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
doing Barbie.
yeah, yeah.
We're
Okay.
doing Barbie.
Okay, I'm
That is
coming
the
on that
bottom.
show then.
Okay,
When
yeah.
you guys do Oppenheimer and Barbie, I'm fucking there.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you're
We'll
there.
let you
You're
know.
there.
Yeah,
You're
Okay.
signed up right now.
yeah.
Good.
And that's
And,
it.
if you do Royal Rumble, let me know for your shows, for your wrestling shows,
Mhm.
because I was going to go to Royal Rumble, but I am going to be front row Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
For
We have a
Royal
date. We
Rumble.
have a date picked out to review the Royal Rumble. I'll tell you after the show.
Let me know because I'm going to literally be front row Monday
Yeah.
Night Raw here in Tulsa.
You got it.
After. Anyway, number 4. You ready?
Yeah, for you, yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's give it. Let's give it.
It's going to get crazy, Chris.
I'm gonna be
It's gonna get
upset.
crazy.
I might be real mad at you.
It's going to get
I'm
crazy,
probably real
Chris.
mad at you.
He fucking says Doctor Strange. I'm going off the show.
Yeah.
It's going to get crazy. It might get a little weird.
All right, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not doing.
You know what that is right there in my hands, Mark? That is
Yes.
an original print, 1984? 1983, the original print, Weird Al Yankovic vinyl. I am a huge fan of Weird Al Yankovic. Not only am I a huge fan of the movie Weird, but I love a comedy that makes me snort like 5 times when I'm watching it. And like, there's a pool scene that we did you see Weird this year?
I did. I watched it with my kids, and I took them
Yes.
to go see Weird Al live in concert
Nice. I've seen Weird Al over 20 times or more.
twice. I've
Like,
seen twice.
I love Weird Al. But like that pool scene where I'm sitting there and I had people in the room with me and we're all partaking in what you can in Oklahoma, and we're all laughing at literally pointing out not who the people are supposed to be, but who are the people acting like the people that they're supposed
Oh,
to be like.
Elvira. I went to school with Elvira.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh,
yeah, that's
really?
Lisa
Cassandra
Margaroli.
Betts?
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, Lisa
Yeah.
Margaroli plays Elvira in the pool scene, and we were buddies in high school.
That's awesome.
Damn. Yeah, so to me, Weird Al Yankovic, the Weird biopic, if you've not seen it, it is a parody of music biopics, which I love. And then the fact that they literally make fun of everything, like, you know, like even in the interview that he first had with Jimmy Fallon, he's like, hey, you know, the Madonna thing, is that true? And he's like, I've met her for 45 minutes once. You know, like, and you know, the history behind it, it just makes it so much more. I feel like it's the payoff of my entire adult childhood and teenage, because I remember getting Polka Party when I was like 7 years old, you know, the cassette. And so to me, it was like one of my favorite movies of the year. I have watched it. I can't even count how many times I've watched that.
I wore out my Weird Al in 3D tape when I was a kid.
Oh, you mean
Oh come on, no.
you mean that?
There it is.
So
There it is.
one of the things that I saw, so my wife was a huge Weird Al fan, giant one, and so when she saw my list, she's like, "Where's Weird?" Because spoiler, it's not my list, but it's I almost made honorable mentions. But yeah, Weird is so funny, and it's the last 30 minutes of it make it for me because it also takes a weird left turn that you don't expect. But yeah, Weird's great, and I fucking love. I'm glad it exists, and that ending song in it is the funniest thing I've heard all year when it comes to songs. So
Because it's Weird Al, man,
Yeah, yes.
and he's the best man that ever existed.
all right. So Mark, what's your number 3?
Mark, what's number?
Everything. Everywhere. All at once.
Great point. Great pull. Love that.
Yep.
Love that movie.
We reviewed. So I do a thing. I don't do it that much anymore. We used to do a thing called Triple Feature,
Mm-hmm.
where we would review 3 streaming movies. We did that one when it was PVOD. We did Father of the Bride on HBO Max, and we had Spiderhead, and it was literally like a fucking downward spiral.
So you
We were like-
this one first.
We spent like 2 hours, and the first hour was just on Everything Everywhere All at Once.
So good. So
So,
fucking
you know,
good.
as perfect as a movie could be, you know, we don't gush. Like I don't know if you guys have, or if your audience has picked this up about me, but I can be a bit negative.
That's
And
That's usually my job.
I'm slightly opinionated. Anyway,
What? No way.
and we've had like my friend Jason's wife like was on our Secrets of Dumbledore show, and she was literally like, I don't know why I come on here. You guys hate everything. And that's kind of what Daniel Hollywood is known for. And you might be able to pick that up from the name of the podcast. But so when we gush about something, when we're like just pantsless and spraying the screen with our, with our love of something, it's a good movie. And we could not have been more complimentary of Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was pretty phenomenal.
So the Daniels directed it, and they did Swiss Army Man, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I like parts of it. This one is like the number one, the most creative movie I've seen this year, and probably the past 4 years. It's something
compared to Doctor Strange. Like how well does it handle the multiverse thing?
Dude, it's so good. Everything Everywhere All at Once is an incredible film, and I can't wait to see what the Daniels do next. But I don't know how they're gonna be able to do it, like do as well as they did. So, but yeah, dude, I thank you. That's so high on your list. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what's yours number 3?
X. Ty West X.
Damn it.
I love this movie. It's
I knew it was going to be in the top 3. I knew it. He loved that movie.
Keep going, but I have so much to say.
Okay, so X to me it's one. You're Mark, when you mentioned Smile earlier. Yeah, I thought X was the movie you're talking about all the tropes that it does. It picks up everything good about a horror film, and then it cranks up to 10. There's this creepy old ladies. You see a giant cock in it if you want that, and
Sorry, I know you're.
Wednesday Addams have sex if you want that.
Hang on, sorry, that fucking crocodile kill scene is so good.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
Yes!
Oh my god, it's so good.
I mean, Jenna Ortega, Mia Goth, all of it's so fucking good. And it was, after that, I'm a big fan of Jenna Ortega. After this, and Mia Goth she came out there, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but Mia Goth used to date Shia LaBeouf. Just thrown out there.
Why is Mia Goth not in more movies?
Right, she needs to be in every single one of it.
Yeah, she really does.
I'm sure she will be. She gets 3 now, and I'm sure she'll get a whole line of them. It'll be like Anna Joy Taylor. Like she was in a couple things when she was younger, but as soon as she got like Queen's Gambit, bam, that like thing.
Yeah, Mia Goth's gonna get like a TV show, like some sort of a Netflix show, and she's gonna blow up because she's the best actress nobody knows about.
Yep, and X. Guys, if you guys haven't seen it, it's fantastic. I loved X. It is.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is Ty West's best movie. I mean, if you guys don't like Ty West, whatever. But it's Ty West's best. Better than House of the Devil, better than Keepers. X is Ty West's best movie, and I'm so glad it got made. And
it's my number 2 for the year. I mean, when you compare that to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix movie, where it's like 180 degrees apart from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't think of it when I made
Texas
my top 10, but that's up there.
This close to being on my
it's so bad. And X is so good, but I don't want to even talk about the horror elements because that's not the thing that impressed me the most about X.
No, it wasn't.
I talked before about having a perspective, and the other thing you might have picked up about me besides my lack of opinions is I talk about sex a lot.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it, but not just from
covered in bacon lube.
At the moment, yes. How I podcast.
Hey,
you invited me here. You knew what you were getting.
that's why there's a green screen, Neil. You don't know what's in my S&M room.
Anywho, but I'm interested in sex from an intellectual level, and I know that sounds really snooty and like fucking whatever. But
no, I agree with that. I like burlesque. I like
Yeah. So like X takes a perspective on sex and aging. I'm almost 50 years old, and that was something I really related to, especially this year, where there are changes that go on. The thing I said at the time, and I'm going to relay it here, and eventually I got to cut this for TikTok, is your mind is still active and working until it's not anymore, but well into your eldest of elder ages. Like your 80s, your 90s, your mind is still active and going. You still have needs and wants, and your body fails you every step of the way. I turned 40 6 years ago, and my whole body just went to crap. I got cancer twice. I yelled something 20 minutes ago and pulled something in my chest. I don't know if you saw that.
It's like I went to have sex the other week or whatever, and I went, and all of a sudden it's like I got a Charlie horse down my entire right leg.
Oh,
it's like, what the hell is this?
Isn't it great when you have to play through the pain of sex? You're like I'm gonna finish, but ow, my glutes. There's the whole thing about X, not to be silly anymore, is that it really speaks to the idea of you still want to be a full human being, and part of being a full human being is experiencing the joy of sex, and your body just can't anymore.
Yeah.
And what that does to you,
Viagra.
to not if you're a woman, to continually have the things that make you a human being stripped of you over time, to the feel that you don't feel like you're a human being anymore. I would fully believe that an older person would absolutely kill a bunch of dirty, filthy pornographers. That frustration alone. But I also, there's been a lot of talk this year. We reviewed Pam and Tommy, and there was a whole discussion of women's sex and their agency, and owning their bodies and owning their right to, as some of my friends would say, have their slutty period.
Yeah.
And are sort of, it's the year of our Lord 2023, and we're still having very puritanical views about how women should be viewed in terms 100%. Of sex and what, my wife very likes to tell me all the time. They're like, sex is made out to be this very like protected thing. And sometimes sex is just sex.
Yep.
And the only people making a big deal about it are the people making a big deal about it, but that doesn't necessarily make it so. And that's like, and those conversations,
I didn't make a big deal out of it at all.
I bring this up not to totally derail your podcast, but like that's what X is talking about. So the brilliance of X and why it's my number 2 for the year is, I know it's your number 3, it's my number 2, and it is because it takes a familiar genre, toys with it, but uses it as a platform to discuss these very interesting and serious issues. Film, ladies and gentlemen, that's film.
Yep.
On the one hand, they're having this really poignant discussion about sex and agency. We're having a psychological look at the sort of the inhumanization of oneself due to the nature of age.
Yep.
And an alligator kills a bitch. It's fucking awesome.
I'm so glad you love Dex, dude. I'm really glad to hear that.
Going on your point of that, talking about age, talking about what it feels like to get older and have the scare of the end coming near. Here's my number 3 pick. Clerks 3. One, this is a 28-year payoff for me. Because, I mean, when did Clerks come out? Maybe 96, 94?
No, 94, bro.
94. So, therefore, it's a 28-year payoff for me. And this year I got to meet Kevin Smith. Great guy. Good conversation we had. But this movie put the ending on so many storylines that I wanted as growing up, when I went and seen Clerks, when I went and seen Clerks 2. Chris was in Clerks 2. Did you know this?
God damn it.
No, seriously, watch. Literally. Right here it is. Here it is.
Can I tell you, I showed my 8-year-old and my 11-year-old the original Clerks, and I forgot how dirty it was. And they were like, "Is there any more of these?" And I'm like, "Not that you can see. Get out of here." No donkey show for you. I'm not that kind of dad. Show. But look, we can talk about snowballing and in a different show.
Sucking 37 dicks.
Yeah, look, that's fine for an 8-year-old boy, but a donkey show is way too far.
Anyway, but to me, it was I felt how Kevin Smith felt, heart attacks, seizures, that runs really deep in my family. In fact, my grandfather, before he passed earlier this year, literally had 9 heart attacks in his life. Like, wow. I am the smallest guy in my family, and I'm 6 foot 260. 270 now, let's be honest. but so to me it was very real, and it was about someone reflecting on their past and if they've done enough, and since I moved here to Tulsa, I took from not working at a bank and finances and stuff like that, and actually working in radio and music and doing stuff that I want to do in my life, putting more into this podcast and stuff like that. And Clerks 3 to me was a reflection of not just those characters, but a reflection of my own life that gave me an insight that like really made me feel like, God damn it, Kevin Smith, you got me when I was 16. I was smoking dope, and all I wanted to do was get my dick sucked. And you get me at 40 when I'm
And-
freaking.
And all you do now is
getting-
smoking weed and get your dick sucked.
well, I mean, that's still a thing too.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
We saw the touring Q&A that they did in the in the theaters.
Oh fuck.
nice.
And we had a good time with that. But I'll tell you, you know, I'm not the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan. I'm, you know, we have absolutely called for his death. Sorry, not me per se. I have a partner who has these compulsions, but we absolutely, when he was doing
comic books and shit autographed right on the shelf. This motherfucker.
I'm sorry, Kevin Smith lost all his credibility when he was screaming on Twitter, make No Way Home a Best Picture, make a populist choice. Someone get Kevin Smith laid before it's too late. Anyway, but so I'm not the world's biggest fan. But yeah, Clerks, I will go along with that. It was not in my top 10, but I see where you're coming from, and I will co-sign on that. Clerks 3, as it speaks to us old, you know, middle-aged men, was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good old man cry at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I was the guy that had the poster of Clerks,
Yes.
you know, on the wall. So
So,
I mean,
Neil, I really appreciate how that made you feel. Like I didn't know how deeply you felt about it until just now. Because we talked about it, we just seen it. We're still processing it. So I appreciate
Mark.
that. His number 2 is X.
X, yeah.
X. Oh, your number 2 is X. Then,
It is.
Okay. What more can we say? X. The only
Well,
way X is better is if you put 2 other X's next to it.
That's still not as good as this movie.
I mean, look, I can spend my time talking about all the kinky shit I did in the year of our Lord 2022, but I'm sure Chris would like to talk about movies now.
Yeah, you know.
Number
So
2?
my number 2 is The Banshees of Inisherin. Like
What is it?
The Banshees of Inisherin.
The Banshees of the Engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banshees of Inisherin is
Banshees of Ed Sheeran was
So-
great.
So the thing is about this movie, I mean, we talked about it earlier, is again, it to me, like, with all the rule stuff, and it takes place in the Irish Civil War. So that's often the distance. Well, this whole thing's going on in the island of Inisherin, the fictional island of Inisherin. So having that all together, again, Martin McDonagh being my favorite European director, I was so fucking stoked on this movie, and it stuck with me long after I left the theater. And so at the end of the year, it's this high up because I couldn't stop thinking about it.
It makes sense. My number 2 is also one that was mentioned earlier. And of course, you probably know what it is because it's not that hard. Because if you just move a little this way, you're right. It's Macho Man. Elizabeth. No. It's the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah.
Not only is this a good movie because of the twist it takes in several parts of this movie, but the fact that Nicolas Cage at this age is old enough to be like, hey, this is me. I know I fucked up, but you know, there's also parts in it where he's like, where people are like, why won't he say no to movies? And he's like, it's what I do for a fucking living, you assholes. Like, I literally do this for a living. This is my job. You don't say no to like going to work every day. You need money so you can pay for things, so you can do everything. It is my job. And they even make marks of about Mandy, about Willy in Wonderland. Like they make marks about, you know, Face Off. Like there's all these great hits.
References, yeah.
Con Air. The movie starts with somebody watching Con Air. That's literally where the movie starts. And from there on, it's just a roller coaster of a movie. Literally one of my favorite movies of the year. I don't know how many times I watch it. I know I've watched it more than The Fat Man, and that's saying something. Like literally, I actually have a pair of sunglasses. My wife has one of the shirts from the movie because working in radio, I get a bunch of this shit for free. And we got a whole box. And I told my boss, I was like, look, dude, before you give any of this shit free, I'm stealing half of it. I just want you to know that. And he's like, well, it's not stealing if you tell me. I go, well, look the other way, motherfuckers. And you'll know.
Nice.
But we are now at that point, guys. We're about to say our number 1. But before we get there, let's go through our 5 honorable mentions. Let's start with you, Mark. Mark, your 5 honorable mentions for the year of 2022.
Okay. Going all the way back to January. 1, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're all about that.
on Bart. I mean, that was like literally one of the best movies of the year. It was really good. I had it on my list and I took it off.
Okay. I was not prepared for class. Hang on. What did we review this year? Okay.
Do you want us to go while you're doing the research?
No, I can do this.
Okay.
You
Scream.
can do it.
Okay, so Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Scream. I thought Scream was really good. I thought, in terms of like rehabilitating that whole franchise, I thought they did a really good job with it. I thought it was an appropriate return to form. I think Scream is such a meta commentary on the horror genre in and of itself, and that's what it got back to. I had no major problems with it, not in my top 10 or anything, but I had to look at like what other movies that I really enjoyed this year. We gave high marks to Scream.
And Jenna Ortega, like literally, they hit that mark on that before Wednesday Addams came out too.
Let's see. Oh, the Black Phone. Black Phone was phenomenal.
Ethan Hawke, yeah.
Black Phone was really good. Right, that's 3. I can do this.
You can do it, buddy. I swear you can do it.
Samaritan. We love Samaritan. We were talking about.
We reviewed it actually.
We were talking about like that return to that 90s level mid-tier action movie, where the 90s where everything was dark, wet, and on fire. Samaritan was a throwback to that, for movies, you guys who like movies. We loved it. I know a lot of people either ignored it, as Stallone superhero movie. Fuck that. Amazon Prime, never mind. But we went out of our way to review it, and we did an entire thing about the 90s action movie and how Samaritan was a throwback to that. And it was one of our favorite movies of the year that's not in my top 10. Let's see. And finally, Chris Bailey. Okay. I'm going to say one, and you're going to be like, really? I liked Babylon.
I did too, man. I saw that recently, and I saw that like last week, and you were talking about the show. But that one was not bad, man. It was 3 hours, but I was never bored.
Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon.
I'm I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I really like movies. But I not just like movies. I like everything about the movie industry. I like to talk about the finances of movies, the history. I like to talk about like production history of movies. But also the history of and the evolution of Hollywood itself and the styles of the transition from, which is what Babylon's about, from the silent movie to the talkies. Why
didn't we see this? What the fuck? When did this movie come out?
It came out the same week The Whale did, but I saw Babylon, and I knew I was going to see it.
As a meditation on Hollywood excess and what fame does to your soul, I think Babylon works. It's not perfect, and it's yet another example that Margot Robbie is Hollywood poison in terms of finance.
Yeah,
but like she does not a box office draw at all. It's like we're betting whether or not Barbie actually makes any money because Margot Robbie.
I'm going to see it.
Nothing that Margot Robbie starred in has made money since I, Tonya.
Yeah,
we tracked it.
God, we loved I, Tonya too. That's the first movie we did on the podcast. Did you know that?
That was the first movie we did on the podcast.
Yeah.
If Tanya and The Last Jedi.
If you don't count, and to me, she's not the draw here. She's barely in the movie. But if you don't count like Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that woman has not been as a starring person been in a movie that has made money since I, Tonya.
Yeah. Number 5 from your elements.
5 honorable mentions for 2022.
3,000 Years of Longing. Something I didn't expect to like at all. I actually ended up enjoying quite a bit. George Miller, thanks a lot. I mean, you brought back Mad Max Fury Road, and then you did this thing, which is fucking wild. I can't talk enough about how much I liked the chemistry between Tilda Swinton and
Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba.
3,000 Years of Longing, great movie if you haven't seen it. Basically tells about a woman that finds a djinn. Is the best way?
Yeah, more genie.
A djinn.
Yeah.
They go Jin.
Yeah.
They don't go Genie.
Yeah.
Go Jin. There's a difference, Chris.
Yeah. So it spans a lot of.
It's like saying Zeus and Jupiter, two different
It
things.
spans 3,000 years, and it's a fantastic movie, and it's worth watching, 100%. Then number 4 for me, The Whale. Solely for Brendan Fraser's performance. That's really what makes the movie to me. Like, even if the storyline's not that great, even if it's a little bit saccharine, Brendan Fraser's performance makes this worth watching alone, and that's why this one's not.
I just want to know that one thing in my life mattered.
Yeah, I cried like a fucking baby.
Oh my god!
I saw AMC, so there's 2 seats together, like, and one stranger had taken the seat right next to me, and so I was quivering in the corner, not hoping that he didn't hear me blubber.
So you're crying like a little bitch.
Yeah, I was like, but yeah. Number 3 for me, Revealer. I saw Revealer at Panic Fest this year. Now it's on Shudder. And Neil's probably thinking that I picked Revealer because I interviewed the team from Revealer.
He did.
I did.
He totally they 3-way.
I went to
the Donald Trump dance.
No, I went to their hotel after Panic Fest. If you don't know, Mark, Panic Fest is a horror thriller film fest, and KC happens every year. And they show a bunch of movies that aren't going to come out for years or a year. But Revealer came out in Shudder, and I got to talk to the whole team for Revealer. I had a great time talking to them, and I really excited that I liked their movie because I'd already arranged to interview them before I saw it.
Chris was nervous; he didn't know how to interview people.
But it was good. It was a good interview, though.
Yeah, it was. I heard it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. But a Revealer it's about a Christian fundamentalist and a stripper stuck in a sex shop during the apocalypse in the 1980s. So
by any means, it is B movie quality, but the acting and the where it goes, like the story, is actually really good.
Yeah,
I watched it too, and it was really good.
Chris,
what's your next one?
So this one I actually have 2 because I couldn't choose. Fresh / Bullet Train. Those 2. We talked about those.
Fresh and what?
Bullet Train.
Oh, you did 2 of them together.
Yeah. Because I couldn't choose, and then finally, Jackass Forever.
Jackass Forever.
Yeah, not a real movie. Not a real movie. I know.
I think that was coming
it's not
from your mouth.
Jackass Forever is not a real movie, but it's I laughed the hardest at this movie this year was Jackass Forever.
I took my son to go see Jackass, and seconds into that movie, I felt like a bad parent.
You should have. There's so much dick. So much dick in that movie.
Dude, so I did a TikTok of my son like
in Jackass Forever. There's just so much dick.
No shit. That was what my son said. I was like, Jonas, what did you think of Jackass Forever? This is for TikTok. He's like, there was so much penis.
All right. So my top 5 honorable mentions for this year. I think all of you have said them, at least one of them. At some point. 1, Violent Night. Fucking greatest. It's going to be my Christmas movie list for the next years to come. The Whale, obviously. To be honest, a lot of my family deal with obesity. This really was a great representation. It also really, man, I got the feels in the feelers down in the spots where I shouldn't have. This is where my list gets a little bit more weird than your guys's. I did one as one single one, and that is Pearl and X, I think, on the same line.
Okay,
because
X okay, whatever.
It is a continuance of the same movie. It's like saying Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. It's just continuance and story.
I would say so.
Okay.
Of the trilogy.
Should have been up there way higher, but okay.
Here's one you guys are all going to be like, fuck you, what the fuck is wrong with you, and how many drugs did you do in your teenage years? And that'd be Chip and Dale Rescue
What the
Rangers.
fuck's wrong with you, man? Really?
I'm going to allow it, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Somehow I have a lot of authority on this show. Honestly, like,
Hey, you're putting this on your network. We'll leave you that.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of animation people. The animation folks out there love Chip and Dale. Like, I watched it with my kids. I was barely conscious during the review of it, but I remember. but I do know that people who were paying attention to it, who are hardcore animation nuts, thought Chip and Dale was spot on.
Okay. Yeah, it was spot on. Like I watch animation films with animators or little YouTube videos or whatever. On top of that, the story, the way it went, the way to introduce to iconic, characters from the 90s, from the 50s, from whatever decade you want to call them from originally, to reintroduce them with a badass movie. I mean, Disney hasn't really done it well in the past other movies.
No, Disney streaming movies and television shows are mostly trash.
Yeah.
That would include like Marvel and Star Wars. But yeah, Chip and Dale was one of the rare gems this year.
And this movie, Mark, you haven't been able to see this because it's not out on any platform. But just like Chris, I stole it straight from the Panic Fest. And that is, and I can't believe he didn't say this, which I really fucking
hate. Are you Allegoria or something?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm going to say when the screaming
we talked
starts,
to them too. We talked to them too.
I can't believe you did not say this.
It was almost
movie,
there. It was almost there. It was almost there.
We interviewed the director and the main actor. When the screaming starts is literally what they do in Shadows, but for homicidal murderers.
Yeah.
Homicidal maniacs.
Yeah.
It's a group of people that want to be mass murderers. They hang out together and they have a documentary series with it, and it is fucking hilarious.
If you guys want to watch this now, it's on Screenbox. It's on Screenbox. If you guys
Screenbox.com is the only place that has it right now. But when it comes out more wild, that director, those actors, they're all going to get what they deserve.
I should probably contact Connor. I'm going to the UK in March to see if I can hang out with them.
Yeah, dude, definitely hang out with him. See if you can do a circle jerk.
Oh, well, I might. All right.
Oh my God! No, I don't like it. I don't like it when Perry White shows up.
That would be J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, is it Joan Jameson? I'm
sorry. You can't see the caption above, but he's saying "make it gayer."
So I think
here it is, everybody. Where's the drum roll? Where's the drum roll?
I got
Where's the Mark? What is your number one movie for 2022?
I am vengeance. It's Batman.
The Batman!
I made a populist choice.
Yes!
Yes.
Explain why. You explained a little bit earlier, but explain why again, everybody. Why?
Okay, so specifically what I was looking for in a Batman movie was, first of all, I hate the comic book nerds of the world. They all want the same three characters, and they all want them to just kill everybody. Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Punisher. Nobody cares about Batman unless he's a fucking ninja. This is why Batman couldn't be happy and marry Catwoman. I hate you, Tom King. I fucking hate you. I grew up with the Adam West Batman, but I grew up, as far as comic books go, both before and during and after the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns grimdark Batman. So I remember a time where Batman used to be a detective. He was the world's greatest detective. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
and
thank you, Neil Adams. I know a Neil that's better than me.
And he would actually collect clues and solve crimes and figure things out, and he didn't have to punch his way through everything, and that wasn't the solution to the problem constantly.
Yeah, even after the Jason Todd died in Death of the Family, the next series of comic books after that is him trying to find Two-Face, and he doesn't know he's trying to find Two-Face, and it reflects in the comic book that him and Two-Face are actually going through the same struggles, but they don't know it because they don't know that they're about to collide together.
So
it's one of my favorite comic books.
One of the things you guys brought up that I didn't actually think about until people started saying is Batman being a detective. So seeing the guy in the bat suit with a bunch of detectives figuring out this crime, which I had to stifle laughter because it was kind of ridiculous, but I do like the fact that they focused a lot on that in these movies, or the Batman, because that's really what Batman is, a fantastic detective. So
I love the aesthetic, that gritty crime noir element of Batman. He's less a superhero and more what he was in a fair amount of the comics. You know, he was using the Batman because he would the whole thing about like year one was he went into the street and he's just picking fights with people and he got his ass beat even though he was trained, and then he needed to find a way to sort of even the odds, and so he started attacking from the shadows, and that was the whole point of the bat suit, also to have armor on because who wants to be stabbed? Yeah. Like, there's an element of Batman of like, and Chris Nolan's Batman Begins dealt with this a little bit, I think, a little well too. But to kind of focus on the movie at hand, the thing I like about the Batman, aside from the actual detective elements, the gritty crime noir aesthetic, I like the fact that it also plays in psychology. The Riddler isn't Frank Gorshin, just doing goofy shit, or Jim Carrey. Like, he's fucking with Batman. This is about classism, which I liked.
Right.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it's like a revenge tale. This is his way of kind of like the way Joker was, where we are speaking to the imbalances of classes, the have and the have nots, and what that does to people, and how it affects our thinking and how we relate to others. That's why I like Joker as much as I do. The Batman, the same thing.
Have him tattooed on your arm,
on my leg.
I actually the Killing Joke. I literally I hate to interrupt you. I literally have my uncle used to do art before he passed, and one of the last pieces he ever did was a pencil drawing painting that I have right here on my wall. That is of the Joker when he comes out of the chemicals at the Killing Joke with his hands in the hair. Yeah, like literally, like right there on my wall. So I'm a huge Joker fan. So
to finish up. Everybody in the cast is great. Like, what's her face?
Zoe Kravitz.
Who I don't always love, but I think she does her level best. I think it's been a long time since I've seen someone do Catwoman really well, and I think she did a good job with it. It's so funny because I brought my kids, and my kids really didn't know how to relate to the movie. Like for the longest time, my daughter's favorite Batman movie was Batman and Robin.
Of course it is.
So,
sending me to
they didn't fuck. It was so funny because like I saw Batman and then I think Morbius, whichever order they came out in, and my son's just like, I take him to go see Batman, and he's like, I don't get it. I take him to go see Morbius. He's like, that was amazing. Dad, what did you think? Loved Batman, hated Morbius. He was like, I don't understand movies. Like, Anyway, Batman, #1 movie of the year for me. That is totally like my fanboy choice, though.
Okay.
Chris.
#1's Everything Everywhere All at Once for me. Easy.
Oh,
to me, this was head and shoulders above everything I've seen this year.
Chris, we did it together, bro.
Okay. All right, so
we did it together.
I fucking hate that.
My #1 choice also is Everything Everywhere All.
Okay, so to me, this was head and shoulders above everything I've seen this year. It's one of those great movies I've seen in the past 5 years. Honestly, I love this movie with a undying passion. I got to see it actually IMAX. So like, yeah, we stayed a week early. I could see it in IMAX, so maybe that helped a bit. The reason why Avatar wasn't chosen because this movie had to see in theaters after that. It's really whatever it is, but Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Avatar is not a movie you see out of theaters.
No.
That's why it wasn't chosen.
And that's why it's not on anything.
Yeah.
It's like
there
literally...
were two movies in the last 2 years that I told everyone they had to go see on an IMAX screen. One was Dune.
Yeah.
The second one was Avatar.
So Everything Everywhere All at Once. So it's not just a movie about the multiverse. It's a movie about it's about an immigrant story. It's about
even about the relationship of interest between two individuals that are actually
also
trying to be in a relationship.
It's about being a queer Asian. It's about all kinds of sort of things that are hard to explain. But Everything Everywhere All at Once does it with the most bombastic, the funniest, touching, and hot dog fingers.
And Mark, you didn't see this movie, am I correct?
No, he saw it. This is number.
It was my #3.
Yeah.
#3. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah,
my memory sucks. Anyway, I live in Oklahoma. Your memory sucks.
But
anyway,
I get it. It was an hour ago.
Yeah, I know.
So,
2 beers ago, actually.
This movie, I really have so much to say, but I can't say it because I don't know what I can't see without giving anything away. But I love this movie with an undying passion. I think everyone should see it. It's the Daniels crowning achievement. I don't know how they can beat this. This was a movie that
I mean, not only do you have like the return of Short Round, that hasn't been in a movie since Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You also have Michelle that like just is one of the great actresses of the last decade. Jamie Lee Curtis is in there, and then the deep emotional connection that you can find on actual multiple levels of what the story. You can reflect it as a mother and daughter trying to find love between each other. You can find it between a family trying to figure out how their unit works. You can figure it out how like it's between discrimination in the world, or how the government suppresses people through taxes and other government factions. Like there's literally a multi-level, there's so many understories of the story of the understory of the story that's being told by the story, by the characters, by the story, with the other story underneath that story.
And it's fucking insane. It's such a good movie. It's
multi-layered in many, many ways. And the only reason this will not win Movie of the Year at the Oscars because Brandon Fraser put on a fat suit. Besides that I don't see any other reason this movie should not win everything from here on out.
Yeah.
If anything wins between Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Whale, fuck the Oscars. I'm never watching them again.
When Best Picture goes to Avatar, I'm going to laugh my ass off.
When it goes to Avatar, they'll be like, oh, great.
I'll be surprised if you get nominated.
Now we know what the next 7 movies are going to get.
So, Everything Everywhere at Once, my favorite movie of the year. I'm probably going to do it up here. I'm going to go ahead and watch it again. So,
literally, the reason Avatar is not on any of my lists, and again, it was this. It was beautiful in the theater. It was magnificent to watch in IMAX 3D.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie is the exact same story. Now we got water. The next one will be Stand. The next one will be in the moons. The next one after that will be in a cave. The next one after that will be, we'll be at McDonald's.
They announced the next one. They announced
fries.
They announced the next one will be fire. That's the announcement. Will be fire.
Oh, is it fire?
Yeah, fire Navi.
A lot of places people live in fire.
Yeah, all those ancient civilizations that lived in volcanoes.
I mean, I think they're just gonna go through Legend of Zelda characters like Goron, Navi, But that's 2022.
And that's that. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is ours. The Batman, which I could not agree with more, with Mark. Man, I feel like, what do you feel like about 2022? Do I just talk till the music plays out?
Sorry. Okay.
So I was waiting for the music to go out.
So about 2022 and an all. Like, I mean, we had a couple years there where, cinema's not really getting made, like stuff was shitty. But cinema in an all of 2022, how do you guys feel?
Here's the thing. In 2019, in terms of worldwide box office, it peaked. Like every movie in 2019 in the top 10 made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame made 2. And then 2020 was the pandemic, and 2021 everything was day and date. And so this is the first year in 2 years we've had a full slate of theatrical movies. But in the 2 years interim, a lot has changed. People are still not going to theaters the way that they used to. We've seen the bifurcation of the theater experience between your Banshees of Ed Sheeran or your Top Gun Mavericks or your Avatars. Not a lot in the middle there. The middle goes to Netflix. The middle goes to your streamers. Mm-hmm. Disney lost shit tons of money. One, and this goes to another issue. A lot of the movies didn't get China releases, so knock $400 or $500 million off the worldwide box office right off the bat, because that's usually what China brings in.
Yep.
So, a lot of your Marvel movies that tended to, on the one hand, and there's something inherently wrong with this, but it does cause problems. You have, a lot of forced inclusion, but that forced inclusion costs you China.
Yep.
So yay for human rights and liberal politics, you'll also lost metric shit tons of money making that decision.
Right.
A really great example of this was Strange World. Disney lost their shirt, their pants, and their virginity because of Strange World. And if you're a LGBTQI person or LGBTQ like adjacent person, Strange World is great. You know, or if you're a parent who would prefer you not shove the LGBTQI existence in the face of their children who just need to put on a Disney movie while they do the dishes, you have lost that audience for probably forever, because these people don't study film. They don't study trends. I do, but this is kind of like what I do. And those people aren't coming back.
No.
We are, you know, there was a discussion about the Marvel movies where 2022 and 2021 and 2022 is kind of a wash. They now have to rebuild after the rebuild, and 2023 is kind of a wash too, because everything was already in the pipeline. Like if 2024 isn't a home run derby, we might be seeing Marvel in its complete decline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
They might go to streaming only.
yeah. I can't tell you though, and I listen to like a lot of industry podcasts that talk, and a lot of people are just like, they should put everything on streaming. Like people are cheering the end of the in-theater experience in all but the Avatars and Top Gun Mavericks.
That bothers me a
Like,
lot. That bothers me a lot.
And it bothers me a lot because I literally grew like when I was 16 years old, my first apartment was literally above a one-screen movie theater. If I wasn't watching the movie, I heard the movie when it was going on.
My friends and I trekked into Manhattan from Long Island to see a midnight showing of Flesh Gordon in an indie theater.
Oh wow!
So part of me seeing like little movies, you have to make an effort to see it. That's something special, I think. Like it's going to see the one screen that's showing the Sword of Trust in downtown, downtown Kansas City, Screen on the Armor. I had to. That was a fucking bitch to get to. But I'm glad I did it. I think going to see these movies.
Clerks 3. Yeah. Clerks 3 is a great reference to this, because Clerks 3 was only around for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You could only see it for 2 weeks here in Tulsa. I literally got tickets. Me and my wife got tickets to go to it on a random Tuesday at 7 o'clock, right? Random Tuesday at 7 o'clock. We pull up. Sure enough, walking up to the theater are 4 of my fucking friends in Tulsa. I don't got many friends here. I've only lived here a couple years, guys. And literally, 4 of my best buddies that I go to wrestling, I went to WrestleMania with,
Topher,
are literally walking up at the same time as us, and we're like, how the fuck did this just happen?
But
here's what I'm going to tell you.
Each other and had a great experience.
Here's what I'm going to tell you just to sum up so you guys can end your show. If people don't go to the movies, we're going to lose them.
Yep.
There'll always be movies.
Yeah.
But do you really want to live in a world where yet another thing is, there's another thing that we've lost as a part of the brick and mortar culture? We're losing malls left and right. That's going to be a thing of the past. I mean, bookstores still exist, but I can't tell you how many people don't care for the tactile nature of books and are perfectly happy buying, stuff for their Kindle. Music stores are dead.
Yep.
Everyone does Spotify or Apple Music or Pandora.
Yeah, you got to go to vinyl only if you want money.
Yeah. So my point is, like, we're losing parts of the culture, parts of the social culture, due to the perceived wanting of ease. I was talking to this. Yeah, I was talking to somebody at work, and I said, "Hey, you're going to take your, does your daughter play with Barbies?" Yes, as does my 12-year-old niece, and the other kid's 5 years old. Oh, did you know that there's a movie with Margot Robbie coming out next year for Barbie? And she was like, I didn't, but that's great. I'm like, you're going to take him to go see it? No, I'll wait for it to come on TV.
God, I can't stand that.
Yeah.
And she's not, and again, like I said, everybody I talk to, like detention deputies and whatnot, that I was one time talking about movies with, they all say the same thing. Outside of Top Gun Maverick, which was absolutely an event picture, or Avatar, unless you're a huge Marvel fan, people are just willing to wait for it to come on TV, and we're going to lose theaters. That's how things go out of business. And I only make mention of it hey, you live in the world you create.
Yep.
That's the world you want to live in, where all of us stay in our houses and we look like the fat people from fucking Wally, or Wally rather.
Wally. Yeah.
Well, I guess, but that's not really where I want to live.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude.
Off my soapbox now.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Like, going to movies is an important part to me. going there and making the effort and sitting and putting away your phone for fucking 2 hours, you know, like that to me, like is
enjoy.
It's important.
Enjoy.
It's important, and
It's an actual thing. Like when you go to a concert and they lock away your phones at the beginning. I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I love that, especially working in radio, where then I don't have to take pictures the whole time like I'm supposed to, and I actually get to enjoy the experience. What we're going to get is literally in the back end here is we're going to get so many human experiences taken away from us.
Yeah.
Like going to a mall where you see, you know, the teenagers being rowdy and the old people jogging and, you know, everything that you're used to about going to in public. At this point, I have to say 2022, cinematic wise, was great. People get out to the movie theaters, make it to the movie theaters, because if you don't make it to the movie theaters, we are going to lose not only 3 random nerds from different parts of the country talking about it, but you're going to lose the right to go to a movie theater. So please go out to your cinemas, support it. Guys, any last thoughts on any of this?
I think that sums up 2022 pretty well. But yeah, go to the theater, everyone. And I'm not trying to sound that if you're sick or if you can't do it, I understand. But I'm going to be an asshole here. Fucking make it to your theater. Use that handicap spot that's there. Yeah.
Mark, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being a part of us every year. And thank you for being inside of us for just 5 minutes, if not less.
And we will take you back anytime you want to come on.
I do enjoy a good soaking, Neil.
Chris, hit that outro. That's another episode of Movies That Don't Suck and Some Do. My name is Neil.
I'm Chris.
We are here just to let you know, go see movies, see more movies, come out and see us, and after this next year, we're going to watch every movie we can just to make sure that you know they exist. Have a good night, and remember, love each other, but just don't love your ex. Have a good night.